he looked miserable. He looked like he couldn't wait for this fight to end. And I'm not saying that to insult Jack. Far from it. In fact, I'm saying the opposite, because he could have taken the easy way out several times.
19 minutes of control time. I mean, the only other really right now in the top in that welterweight.
How long it was? Was it 19 minutes? Jesus.
Yeah.
Islam Makhachev broke him mentally. And that's not to knock JDM. That is to give Islam all his flowers, all the credit in the world. He is unbelievable.
He gained more than a second belt. When Islam Makhachev entered UFC 322, he destroyed the entire division so fiercely that even experts are still debating whether Jack Della Maddalena appeared to have been pulled through a cyclone.
I thought either JDM somehow really has closed those gaps on the holes that he has to where he's able to step forward and start to do damage, or Islam was going to do what I thought he was going to do. Let's get him down. And when you get some of these guys down, you're able to float. Like we wrestle, we're able to float on these guys. We're able to just kind of be a step ahead of them in them trying to maneuver and create a scramble to get back to their feet. And that's what Islam did. I mean, come on, 19 minutes of control time. I mean, the only other really right now in the top in that welterweight.
How long it was? Was it 19 minutes?
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah. The only other time I've seen that long right now in that welterweight division with these top guys is I would say my fight versus Buckley.
Kamaru Usman is astounded by the degree of dominance he witnessed. Jack was not under Islam's authority for 19 minutes. He shut down every attempt at recovery, smothered every scramble, and kept 3 steps ahead of him as if he had already seen the bout 10 times before entering the cage.
I love what dude, because we're not casuals, Kamaru. Like, we understand what he did. You know what I mean? And particularly to solidify, to become a double champ, to become the 11th double champ in UFC history. What did he do? He started with the striking. He would kick the leg. And then right around that 3-minute mark, boom, he was getting takedowns. If you notice, every single round he did that. He hurt JDM with that leg kick. I mean, JDM was pretty much broken. And I will say something that JDM was doing something wrong. He was getting up at the very end, so he didn't really have a chance to really recover going into that round. If you're on your back, dude, like the whole damn time, just stay there, give yourself that opportunity to maybe start that next round on your feet.
Men even makes the absurd comparison between Islam's dominance and his own prime championship era. And if you think it's significant, you should keep watching, because I'm going to make an expert prediction in 60 seconds that will completely change the P4P argument. Henry Cejudo intervenes and accuses fans of failing to comprehend what Islam truly accomplished, emphasizing that he recently became the 11th double champion in UFC history, while methodically taking down JDM with leg kicks and takedowns round after round until Jack was essentially pleading for a reset.
I just was very, very astonished. Islam, I think, looked better than ever. I never saw him breathing hard. At 155, I'll see after he gets in good wrestling scrambles, or a guy might get away or something, he'll maybe take a little breath, catch his breath, and go right back into it. This was scary, man. This guy never got tired. I'd look at him after every round. Wasn't even breathing. Was a joke. He's going to be a scary guy at 170. The amount of strength, gas, and experience, technique he has. To me, he's #1 pound for pound guy right now.
A. Pseudo highlights a crucial error. Jack stole his own recuperation time by continuing to stand at the conclusion of rounds. And if you believe that didn't important, hold on, because I'll show you later how Jack unintentionally ruined his own strategy. Jorge Masvidal refers to Islam as the undeniable pound-for-pound king, stating that the man appeared unstoppable, unaffected, and incredibly strong. He also adds that Islam's technique was so precise it was like witnessing a championship tutorial, and his gas tank appeared to have been constructed in a separate planet.
It's going to be really, really hard to beat this guy. I don't think I could ever bet against him now, unless it's my little brother Ilya. But other than that, I mean, this guy's just a problem, man. He is so fucking good. And everywhere, his stand-up, he was fucking actually piecing up Jack on the feet. Jack was worried about the takedown. He started chopping that leg. It was a stellar performance. I know a lot of fans said it wasn't the most exciting, this and that. But man, Islam did his job. He did what he's supposed to do. Take the guy down, control him, try to hurt him, try to submit him. It's not really his fault that he's so damn good.
Maisel even reveals that the only person he knows who has any chance of deciphering Islam's code is Ilyatopia. You want to know why that small remark is starting a huge conflict behind the scenes? I promise.
I mean, Islam moving up from 155 to 170, fighting JDM, the champ. Poor JDM, he goes out there, he gets the belt, he wins the belt. And the first title defense is Islam. Fortunate for me, I win the belt. They gave me Cheeto. Woo! We got the game wrapped up on our finger there, fellas.
In response to Jack Della Maddalena's matchup, Sean Ali behaves as though he saw a cruel setup, acknowledging that his own first title defense was a gift in contrast to the horror JDM was given while facing a larger, more vicious Prime Mac.
The Russians seem like just funny, cool motherfuckers. Yeah. They're dominating UFC right now. They're very strict, disciplined, and they're dominating right now. And love it or hate it, it's what it is. It is what it is, man. Khabib, I wish we could have seen more of him. Like, I feel like him moving up to 170, being champ, like his career deserved that.
Ali bluntly acknowledges that Jack was put into it with chipper while he was blessed with Cheeto. He then issues a warning that Russian fighters are dominating the UFC with a level of discipline that he claims the rest of the world cannot even equal.
But I think for the most part, it was just the fact that he couldn't do anything. He was getting taken down. He was getting controlled. He did do a good job of not giving up, okay? Because, listen, Islam is a tremendous fighter, okay? He's got a record now of 28-1. He now ties Anderson Silva for a 16-fight win streak. I still think Anderson's was more impressive because 12 of those 16 fights were title fights, and that is more impressive. And of course, we saw some wild knockouts from Anderson Silva, but still, I'm not taking away from Islam Makhachev. What he's achieved is unbelievable. He's a two-weight division champion. Anderson Silva didn't do that, and he has won 16 in a row, okay? So take a bow. Unbelievable.
Michael Bisping explains how Jack was unable to break free from Islam's hold, complimenting his heart while cruelly pointing out that Islam's 28-1 record and 16-fight victory streak put him in Herrera's company, matching Anderson Silva's run and earning gold in 2 categories at the same time.
Jack got a little bit too confident. He tried to go for a whizzer kick or a hip throw. Tried to go for a hip throw on Islam Makhachev. What are you doing? You don't do that. He shouldn't be trying to grapple with Islam at all. But of course, he had success against other grapplers in the past. Against Bilal Muhammad, he was able to have some success in the grappling transitions. But of course, Islam Makhachev is the next level. Okay, so he made a big mistake there in trying to go for his own throw. Ended up back on the ground. And then in rounds 3, 4, and 5, Islam just timed them perfectly. There was almost no resistance.
According to Bisping, Jack's destiny was determined when he attempted an overly arrogant hip throw, which Islam quickly blocked before punishing him with 3 rounds of suffocating wrestling. It appeared as though Jack was trapped in quicksand since it was so biased.
But there was a lot of resistance on the face of Jack, right? He looked miserable. He looked like he couldn't wait for this fight to win. And I'm not saying that to insult Jack. Far from it. In fact, I'm saying the opposite, because he could have taken the easy way out several times. Islam was trying to finish him. He was trying to get Kamaru's. He was trying to get straight arm locks. He was trying to get the doors multiple times that he's got many other great fighters with. And he was trying to get rear naked chokes, okay? And Jack was tired. Jack was deflated. He was dejected. He was beaten, and he knew it was. He knew he was. And all he could have done was just extend his arm. All he could have done was not resist, okay? But the man was still fighting. He was still trying to get back to his feet. His coach is giving him a hard time in the corner. They're all frustrated with him because, of course, they just want the best for him, but it wasn't meant to be, okay? Islam dominated the fight. It was one-way traffic. It was pretty easy. I don't know if Jack even landed a clean.
As his coaches pleaded with him to get back up, Jack appeared exhausted, defeated, and emotionally broken in the corner. However, Bisping claims that Islam persisted in pushing forward with near submissions and unrelenting pressure, turning the bout into a one-way pounding in which Jack hardly made any clean landings. Is there a possibility that
Islam went straight for the calf kick within the first minute, straight for the calf kick, started doing some real damage to that leg early on. Obviously, and obviously the wrestling was always going to be a big factor in this fight. Yeah. Islam does what Islam does. But I think the leg attacks just took Jack's foundation away. You know, his grounding in that tight-knit boxing that he likes to use. It affected not only his movement when he was striking, but his defense, his backing up against cage, his sprawl ability, all of it. Not to say though, Islam's timing was just
perfect.
Sensational.
Perfect.
Sensational.
The first breach in Jack's night is revealed by Robert Whittaker's sniper-like analysis. In the first minute, Islam's calf kicks destroyed Jack's movement, nuked his base, obstructed his sprawl, and slowed every defensive response by half a second.
I think Islam pressure is crazy,
Yeah.
I think it is all the hype, like it's built up to be. It is just next level, much like Chimaev. They're just sticky fellas.
Yeah, man.
And you just mentioned it, like how much slower he looked in that third round. Every time Islam would take Jack down, Jack was just getting gassed defending the submission attempts, trying to move him off him. And then when they got back to their feet or started the round again, his jabs just didn't have the pop and crispness that they needed to have. Whereas Islam looked much the same.
Whittaker notes that Jack's power was depleted with each takedown. By the time he stood up again, Islam was still fighting, as if he had just finished warm-up exercises, and his blows felt like shadows. You're going to hear something even more bizarre if you find it terrifying.
Is there any chance that Ilia Topuria goes up to welterweight and fights Islam Makhachev for the third belt?
Goes up 2 weight divisions.
He's talked about it.
And I thought like Islam might do that. I feel like he might have the size to do that. But
wait, to go to middleweight?
Maybe.
He could.
Wrestlers, they're a different breed, those guys.
Can you imagine Islam Makhachev versus Khamzat Chimaev? That would feed generations. That's crazy.
That would be huge. And then you put it in like Abu Dhabi. like it'd be wild. Everyone's winning that from that card.
Whittaker teases the thought of Islam versus Khamzat in Abu Dhabi, a battle that would cause complete turmoil in the MMA world. He claims Islam might be powerful enough to jump to middleweight and fight people that move like tanks.
I'm smart enough to know that's probably the only... I mean, at 185, he could probably beat most guys. Probably could do that to most guys. Khamzat is just a bigger version of Islam. Like, there's just... That would be sick to watch. That'd actually be a fucking fun grappling fight. I'd love to see that.
At 185, Sean Ali co-signs the concept of Islam, claiming that it is intelligent, calm, and well-rounded enough to defeat the majority of combatants. Furthermore, he suggests that the conflict between Islam and Khamzat would be one for which no one is really ready.
Islam's legacy greater than Khabib's legacy?
Yes. Just out of pure merit, 100%. Title defense is a two weight division thing, but it's ironic, bro. If they were to fight, Khabib would beat him.
and the crazy
he said it, and he said it himself. Like, dude, if I was to fight this dude, he'd beat me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So but it's all hypothetical, right?
Then Henry Cejudo makes one of the most divisive remarks of the evening. With 2 belts and more title defenses, Islam Makhachev has already eclipsed Khabib in accomplishments. Cejudo acknowledges that Khabib would likely prevail in a head-to-head bout, but
is just so strong. He is so good. He is so dominant. He is so talented. And now he becomes just the 11th fighter in UFC history to win a belt in 2 different weight classes. He is also the man who has just won his 16th fight in a row, and in doing so ties the great Anderson Silva for the longest winning streak in UFC history. So all kinds of history made tonight at Madison Square Garden. He is the pound for pound best in the world. There is no denying that, and is slowly but surely going down as one of the greatest ever. And in my opinion, has put his mentor Khabib Nurmagomedov with this victory very much in the rearview mirror. He has surpassed him. If he had not done so already, Islam Makhachev is that guy, and now the welterweight.
Ariel Wani declares Islam to be the world's undisputed pound-for-pound champion and claims that this victory permanently removes Islam from Khabib's shadow, setting him on his own illustrious career with a resume that is now too impressive to ignore.
Yeah, all hypothetical. But for me, I don't know if I could answer that because what Khabib was able to do for the sport and for the Muslim. I mean, obviously there were Muslims in the sport before Khabib, but what he was able to do as far as putting out on his back, I think was remarkable. So, and then the way he was Khabib was disposing of his guy. So it was, man, it's tough to say, but I do think Islam Makhachev is right now is up there.
However, Kamaru Usman argues that Khabib's influence on the sport has not diminished. Even so, it acknowledges that Islam may be the most complete and dangerous fighter in the UFC right now. Usman admits that seeing Islam makes him think of how he felt getting ready for Kobe, knowing that he was going to face a man who had no flaws in the deepest, darkest competitive zone. He also describes Islam as one of the world's most difficult confrontations.
I'm not here to glaze in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but I say it's the most competitive because when I look at a guy like Islam, I don't really see holes. And that's something that scares me, that causes that heartbeat to go up. And that's where you see some of the most spectacular performance. Because the last time I felt that like that was Kobe Covington won. And that's when I was like, yo, you got a guy that can wrestle just as good as you, a guy that can grapple just as good, a guy that can maybe not strike it, but a guy that can strike just as well. You have a guy that's good at all these things. How do you get that victory? And that's where you live. That's where you get that, you know, your spirit just is in there to just fight it out. And so I would say yes, if you're talking about which fight right now is probably the most competitive. And listen, Islam is great. He's great. Especially what he did last night. Islam is great. You can't take anything away from him.
Luke Thomas commends Islam's preparation, but emphasizes that a lifetime of wrestling proficiency cannot be replaced by outside instruction. He claims that Islam's depth of grappling knowledge is so great that it was the unseen advantage JDM was never able to overcome. According to Thomas, Islam's instincts are extraordinary. They neutralize any tactic with a combination of combat intuition and experience, responding to changes more quickly than opponents can anticipate.